Team CC the high.
Yeah, I think it is.
They're number 2 out of the region, yeah. So it'll be Team CC taking Nepal here.
This makes sense.
For game 1. Yeah, it feels like...
you want to deny main tank, right? You want to deny the option for main tank, play your comfort zone. I think Nepal is the best map for that. And clearly, it's worked in a sense because it's pushed T1 to start Jasmine to be likely mirroring an off-tank style, at least more often than not here on Nepal. It's been a while since we've seen much Nepal in competitive play.
Yeah, we didn't really see it at all in EMEA, right? NA, not as much, I believe. So for Nepal, it's pretty cool to see it back in the pool and also see it here early. Let's see what the bans here are as well, Jake. So it'll be a Curie ban here for Team CC, and it'll be the Echo getting removed by T1.
Interesting bans here. I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks about the meta coming into this tournament because Tracer and Genji both copped a pretty severe nerf, I would say, coming into this tournament. Just a little bit less consistent with their damage. And I think we might see a lot of emphasis on flex DPS this tournament. What can they run? What can they bring? Echo has not been a top-tier hero really much so far this year.
Not really.
But I think this makes sense as, like, if you don't have Tracer, if you're not playing as much Genji, if those are less popular picks, Echo could step in and kind of replace that role in a sense.
Yeah, we did see some Echo in like the EMEA playoffs, but it was really only on like Eichenwald and like really
very situational, right?
Yeah, niche scenarios. But well, with Tracer maybe being not as strong, right? Potentially, like Echo starts to get into like, okay, like that could be a pretty viable option, especially to burn down some of these heroes quite quick.
I think with Tracer will be super interesting because you got a player like Zest. It's kind of crazy to say, okay, you're not going to play Tracer. I think it's absolutely still viable.
Yeah.
But we're on Nepal. This isn't the most comfortable Tracer map. It's not the worst one either, though. And I think the fans are probably going to be really interested, as I am as well, to see what are the strats, what are the compositions coming out here that may start to give us a sense of what direction this tournament's going to go overall.
Yeah, and maybe, obviously, we're still going to have Sim, I think, in the mix in a pretty healthy amount from a lot of different teams here, right? Teams trying to play it. Johnny, speaking of him in the back, believes that we should see a decent amount of Zarya, which at least here early on, that looks like Team CC potentially hovering that.
Yeah, and Zarya has been a very popular choice for Billy Dang, but T1 locked and loaded with the Ramatra. I mean, this is arguably the natural counter to Zarya. It's really challenging to put down damage into a Ram that just soaks absolutely all of it. So as we come into this opening mid-fight, a lot of pressure on these teams, see what they can deliver. Big damage already onto that Wu Yang. He's forced into the corner, and with the Disruptor shot, they can't even come out the choke. T1 in full control of the map right now.
Yeah, it kind of just stops them right at the door, right? As Team CC now trying to take a different angle, trying to play for this high ground. I think Barway's just lurking here, trying to get like an off angle, maybe bio grenade, but they do a nice job pushing him out.
Yeah, doesn't get the space for it. Now the point's going to open. Team CC starting to get out onto the point. T1, are they going to grab first split? Proud, caught out alone. Kaneki, nice find, that opening kill. Will it convert? No, T1 playing very slow now, trying to just stay alive through this. The TP back to the high ground. Going to give them just a bit of stability. Team CC starting to flip this point back with that hit scan down, although Proud going to be back in very soon.
I was going to say, it's really difficult for this Zarya to challenge that high ground, but after those early picks, you don't really have to do it, right? You can kind of play on that low ground. Pineapple finds Zest, and I got to say, Jake, for a team that had high ground, right, T1 there, like, Team CC played that as good as you can to be able to take the point.
Yeah, picking off Proud on the rotate is really nice in that fight. Skewed, getting a little bit low on this Lucio, getting harassed from multiple sides. That Tracer struggling to finish this kill, but Kaneki gets the job done and says the death of Tracer may have been greatly overstated. Point starting to tick up, and T1, without their Lucio, really taking a lot of the teeth out of this composition. Sim sticking around just a moment longer, getting a little bit of extra damage, but Team CC in a pretty nice advantage. And what this composition lacks in mobility, it kind of makes up for in raw poke damage. There's a lot of threat to be worried about from Team CC.
Yeah, it's going to be a TP here, across the point.
Big hit.
It's a lot of damage there, but you get the Wu Yang, then you get the Ant Matrix, Immortality Field, Billy Dang's gonna fall, and that's also the nano boost used there. Faraway actually used the nano on a Billy Dang, so not going to have that for that next fight, but Team CC feels like they kind of got what they wanted there early on. But hold on, Pineapple gets 2.
This fight's absolutely not over. Those kills are huge. The counter kill is in from Proud, though, who's still healthy up on this high ground. The flip's coming in from Tracer. Does the contest come in? There it is, but a special gift from Kaneki gets the flip right back, and big kills from Pineapple make that possible. So that's
crazy.
Going. Team CC, I mean, hey, they're on the verge of winning this first control round.
I mean, you can't lose that if you're T1, right? You end up going in, flipping the point. Pineapple basically gets 2. up on the high ground, and then you're able to just kind of funnel on in with the Wu Yang and the Tracer. You also have Billy Dang following up towards the end. You have a sound barrier here for T1, so a big advantage in terms of survivability. They actually TP directly across here because Faraway's been playing that angle the entire time. Now gets punished.
Team CC has been great in the 4v5s, though. They've been bringing back a lot of these fights. Here's Pineapple with the OC. Jasmine forced and popping that Ramattra ultimate just to stay
in a lot of trouble, though.
The damage, but where are the heals? They're not here. T1 tried to flip the map. Now
they have
back to the low point, but this is final fight. You can't give this up. Here comes the ultimates now. Symmetra rips one. Proud with the second. The OC is big. See if it's enough for a second. Rail connects on the far away, but there's no follow-up, and Proud has to fall back to the Mega, but that one kill on Kaneki may have been enough. T1 stabilizing. Sound barrier coming back here very fast. They may be forced into it. Here comes the grab onto Zest. Beat keeps him alive. Now Vigilante finds the kills, and the Beat seems to have been just enough to overwhelm. So T1 take a sticky situation, manage to navigate through it, and now, hey, they're in control. Kind of ultimates dumped out of CC.
Yeah, it feels like they got a little bit fortunate there. Did T1, right? You're able to hold on to your sound barrier for that grab. I thought when they lose Jasmine, they were in a pretty rough spot. But Team CC makes some big changes here, Jake. So Billy Dang will go over and play D.Va, which is a little bit of a better matchup into this Ram. And then Pineapple getting a really nice, in terms of like long sight lines here with the Freya, gonna bring that in.
And Faraway getting space on this high ground, very big deal on the Ana here. If he's able to move up closer to the point, threaten some of these biotic grenades, you could be in real trouble. Here comes the aggressive TP flip, instant window out of Vigilante. Do they have the kill? Yes, Proud cleans it up, shuts down that Ana. No nano boost gonna be coming out in this fight. Team CC have to decide, are they gonna fight this one out? Seems like they're gonna back off for the moment, try and stabilize for one last fight, but T1 are looking for these kills.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mobility to really help Faraway out. So as soon as they catch him off, that's like the second or third time it's happened during this. Now we're going to get a final fight.
As we come into this, Feud getting active. Billy Dang dropping low, but here comes Freya from the backline. Pineapple cuts down the Lucio. Team C are back into this with the nano boost. Faraway forced to drop that already, but here comes Billy Dang straight into the backline, cleans up the drone. Baptiste soon to follow behind, and this soldier in real trouble. Proud has to fight it out as he can, but the feed is all blue, and Team CC retaking control and should be retaking the round here. This is a very difficult retake for T1.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, T1's not going to have everybody back, right? So Skewed ends up falling. You lose Zest here. It doesn't look like you're going to get anybody else back. So Proud will get a touch. Maybe Jasmine on the D.Va going to come flying in here last second. Nope, not able to make it. And Team CC, they steal that first round.
You know, Matt, I was talking to Team GK before this tournament, and they were saying, hey, Team CC, they've got hands. This is a team that could be a threat, that could be a real challenge. And we're seeing some of the fruits of that. Up 1-0 on control against T1. Can they close out the map, though? We've seen teams be able to win this. It's the opening round of the tournament. Maybe there's some jitters. Maybe there are some mistakes. Now the question is, okay, what did T1 respond with? What do they come back in on this next round? Is this Ana Wu Yang style going to be able to work here on the second point of Nepal? I think it'll be a little bit more difficult here with the high grounds being a little bit more close to the point, easier to contest.
Yeah, we'll see some of the stats here is, Billy Dang putting down some serious damage, and Pineapple as well. Like some massive pickoffs when playing the Sojourn, and now on the Freya. A much different look here for T1, right? They're going to be playing with the Zarya, so matching that, but a little bit more aggression here with the Venture being able to get into the backline.
I love the Venture pick here. This is going to be real trouble for Faraway. You're going to have the Zarya bubbles to enable Venture, and they're already contesting up on this high ground, right? Putting some pressure down. Knocks Ana to the low ground, already accomplishing something here without position. It's going to be a struggle for Team CC to get this contest. They're going to try and take the stair side, but Zest is right up into the front line, taking this contest. Bursted down, though. The heals aren't good enough, and once again, T1 drop the first player, but they get the control flip.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they're actually able to... Oh, I mean, Billy Dang very low. It's going to be the Wuyong healing, though, with some healing from far away, able to keep him up. As Jasmine, they're just not able to get the healing enough onto their own Zarya there for T1. They actually tried to use an immortality field, just not inside of it. So that is going to be Team CC flipping this, a lot like how it went on that first round.
I mean, one thing about this Ana Wu Yang comp, I mean, you have two ways to amplify heals and two pretty potent single target healers. Like, this Zarya could be really difficult to burst down. You'd think you could take out Billy Dang, but if they get turned around on and they kind of save that Zarya on full energy, you could find yourself in real trouble. T1 with a much more classic style playing around this Lucio. Let's see what they can get done with that speed. Zest is back to the Tracer, tried and true. Pineapple may be in trouble on this high ground, playing his way out of it for the moment.
Yeah, but Skewed has to be careful, right? Can't get caught off guard. It's a bowler shot. Oh! Oh my god, that is insane. The bowler shot actually hits the Immortality Field and then takes out 2 more.
Yeah, the Nano turns things around. We've seen Nano Freya be one of the most potent uses of the Nano Boost when Freya's in the meta. I mean, this character just does such
that was crazy
damage, and it allows him to turn around that fight. T1 think, hey, we can maybe catch this, punish it off. But you've got these powerful single target support ultimates, letting a player like Pineapple really spread his wings here. T1 now gonna take the wide swing onto this left side with the Amp Matrix.
And then now you can use the Tidal Blast here onto like Billy Dang, right? So you can actually kind of use that on your Zarya and take a little bit more aggression in that frontline matchup.
Here comes the window. Vigilante opens it up, tries to get a little bit of position on point. For now, Team CC backing off, staying alive. Here comes the Graviton Surge, keeping one alive for the moment. Jasmine, are the heals good enough? Not quite. The Pulse Bomb does go through, but in the meantime, I mean, T1 are just reaping Team CC, cleaning them up off the map. And yeah, but Grav deployed and not really getting any value from Team CC.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get, there's no like sound barrier, right? So you don't get that out. It's just like the Immortality Field used there, and you kind of give up that trade. Billy Dang actually goes over to the ramp. It feels like Team CC kind of getting the advantage in terms of like these tank counter swaps here, at least early on in the series. But I mean, look, 82%, you're what, 1 fight away from then kind of being on like, you know, map point, right? In the sense that, you know, you're going to have T1 kind of getting a junk fight there at the end. I don't know how they're going to combat this sound barrier, though, here. I mean, sound barrier plus grab, it's going to be really tough to fight through.
I mean, ult-wise, though, this is T1's fight to lose. They have full control. OC is going to open things up and slam the door. Proud already finds one. There's a second. Cleans up Pineapple. And even, I mean, Billy Dang going to get cleaned up there, and that's just OC. So T1, I mean, I think they're starting to settle in, Matt.
And that's kind of brutal for Team CC, right? Like the objective there is to probably try and get, you know, Grav, maybe you actually get like the sound barrier out. Just the fact that they use the overclock there and they end up winning it, I mean, that is like worst case scenario for CC. Now it's almost certainly that T1 will end up kind of taking another fight, taking the lead, and then now Team CC is in a really bad spot in a final fight.
And Zest is such a thorn in the side right now. I mean, Pineapple's trying his best to keep the focus on the front line, but a pulse bomb here will be devastating. Faraway sidesteps it. That's a huge survival. Needed to happen. But Grav is available. Here comes the beat from T1. They're swarming over the front line. Can he find the grab connection? He's looking for something. Does not want to put that on the Ramatra. Here comes up onto the back line. It is enough to take down Pineapple. Public enemy #1. Here comes Tidal Blast here onto the Ramatra, but does he have the ability to gap close? Not quite enough. Amplification Matrix drop now from Vigilante. Is going to clean up the front line. Vigilante does drop for it, and the punish is good, so Team CC still has the right to play, but no one's on the point.
I mean, that is a brutal one here early on, because Kaneki gets 2. Yeah, you also had another kill come down, right? So you're actually probably in like a 2v2 type of scenario there, but they have to push so far to get Jasmine and some of the rest of those players on T1 that nobody is home to get the point, at least into OT. So we will go into a final round. This is such a huge round for Team CC. It's so weird because it's like it's literally our first game of the tournament. But like
first to 2, I mean, this map is like a major part of the series.
A first to 2, and then the potential to kind of guarantee a map selection on a game 3, let's say, in a series like this. It could be like tournament defining for both these teams. So this is a massive round.
Yeah, it's crucial. Billy Dang, look at those stats, man. I mean,
he's kind of farming,
that really, really enables Zarya, that puts her in the driver's seat with the amount of heals you can just pump into that front line. T1, though, playing the classic style, right? Utilizing mobility, controlling the tempo of the fights. You see, when they control the point and have the movement advantage, it's so hard for Team CC to retake. So this mid-fight is crucial. Zest gonna wrap around to the flank, put a bit of frontline pressure on it. I mean, Ana could find herself in real trouble. Yeah, they scout this. This Ana is dead to rights now, already. Dead on my screen right now. Zest is gonna get that clip. Wait, oh my god, you get a counter kill. No way, that was way too close for comfort.
And I mean, this has happened like 4 or 5 times now where they're able to kind of split off Team CC and they just kind of give up far away, where it feels like the Ana obviously has no protection here. No way to kind of get that Ana a little bit of extra mobility. Proud now starting to heat up as this is not looking good for CC early on.
I mean, this is just really well played strategically from T1. They've identified the issue of the composition. They recognize that Ana has no real way to survive with the movement advantage that Lucio brings. You just 5v1 the Ana in the spawn. You give up 17%, but that's a worthy price to pay considering the retake now is really scary. Like for Faraway, walking up on these chokes is a terrifying prospect.
Again, like, what do you even go to here if you are Team CC, right? Like, you can kind of like match, but it seems like they at least here want to play the Wuyong early on as still a very strong hero in the meta.
And Venture right now, Zest putting up a lot of pressure on, does get the bubble just in time, but okay, it is enough to keep him alive. And that gives a little bit of space for Team CC, but still, the threat of aggression is very real. T1, for now, holding back, keeping that vision of the point. They don't want to give up a flip for free here. This Amp Matrix from Vigilante, though, another real problem. We see him get very aggressive with that. Zarya swings wide, has no way to get back now, has to just play on the off angle. They're going to nano Billy Dang, turn the fight around, using him, but Vigilante has found Connecty. Where are the kills from this nano? You do not want to have to grab Jasmine, who stays alive in the corner, gets the grab off his own, and with nano expiring, Billy Dang hits the deck, holding onto that Graviton surge, but there was just no chance to deploy it there.
This has looked ugly so far for Team CC. I definitely think T1 is kind of, figured out at least, like, hey, if we can split this team up, and then the supports are, fairly easy targets for Zest to pick off, especially when he's got, the help from the Zarya with, like, bubbles and stuff. The Venture can get into that backline pretty easily and take out a hero like Ana.
I mean, this Venture is just creating a lot of space, and I think it's a great identification by Zest of what you can punish from Team CC. Team CC still has ultimates, but so does T1, and here come. They dive in, they force a defensive grab out of Billy Dang. I mean, he's going to stay alive, gets the beat out and the flip, so it's something, but you need to stay alive. Farway, once again,
split, though.
They're chased down to the spawn. Billy Dang too. It's just a 5v2 in the attacker spawn, and Team CC, what, are you going to hold on point? I mean, it's a 3v5. Good luck with that.
I mean, they got a Tidal Blast, right? But like what? Yeah, I mean, look at this.
Disruptor Straw too. That's
Pineapple hiding in the corner here. Not exactly going to be like a one-shot type of scenario. So let's see. I mean, you will probably Kaneki kind of get here and contest. Looks like you had to use recall, so actually going to be forced all the way out. So, I mean, what? You get like 30+% out of that there if you are Team CC. But it doesn't really result in like any like type of map progress, right? Like you're not being able to get control of the choke.
Coming out of the choke is so scary into this Venture ultimate. They're in straight onto that soldier who's trying to stay alive, trying to get some damage out. Shutting down Pineapple is huge though. And I mean, what's really left? Like the threats are just lacking out of Team CC. T1 answer this strategy out of Team CC with flying colors. It took a couple rounds to get into the groove, but I mean, once Zest came onto this Venture, it kind of was open and shut. I feel like this third round was a real statement from T1.
Yeah, they did a much better job there, T1, towards the end. And honestly, Team CC, they were doing a nice job adjusting like their tanks and trying to get a tank advantage. But in terms of the supports, it is just so late for them to make any type of adjustment. I mean, they make it very late at the end, bringing in the Lucio and still staying with that Ana. But it just felt like time and time again, though, Jake, like the speed advantage for T1 and then being able to split Team CC up. A lot of times, like it's like just far away. Sometimes in the later stages of the map, it was Billy Dang and far away getting split off. Those players are not winning a 5v2. Turn around, you kind of clean up the rest, and that is how T1 takes a pretty awesome map number 1.
Yeah, and T1 are I think, becoming more and more decisive throughout the map. Like getting more aggressive about attacking, about setting the tempo, setting the tone. I think they came into that map saying, all right, kind of like what's going on, like this honest thing. I mean, this was Team CC, in fairness, leveraging their higher seed. They go to Nepal, clearly a map where they've prepped a very specific style on that they want to bring. And it does throw T1 for a loop. It does get them around, and it honestly, round 2, pretty close, pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But I just think a team like T1, they're too quick to find the answers. To your point though, Matt, with how the high stakes of these opening matches is like this, I could have easily seen this working. So I actually like what Team CC brought. I think this was smart. Now they're going to go deeper into their strat book, show us their next map pick.
Yeah, I mean, 15 deaths combined from the supports here for Team CC. Billy Dang did have a good game. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here as this is where we were talking about quite early, where Billy Dang and CC were getting kind of the better of the tank adjustments. I mean, that is a really sick bola shot there. Here's the immortality field, kind of keeping Jasmine alive through that grab that comes on through. As this is where I feel like, T1 started to really assert their dominance.
Yeah, I mean, Proud looked amazing as usual on the Sojourn. Really happy to see Zest on the Venture.
Dude, they got a touch here, though. I mean,
that's true. I mean,
it's like a 4v3 in their favor.
Yeah, that second round was where you had to win it. I mean, round 3, there's like a little bit of control on the board for Team CC, but they didn't ever win a fight.
No,
I mean, it's like T1 gave them those flips, knowing that they were securing decisive kills that would win them the round. And so round 3, like emotionally, is 100-0.
yeah. It was never a round in which it seriously felt like Team CC was going to be able to take it. Like, sure, they got some percentage, but like we talked about, it was all just kind of like, getting a little bit of, turns up like a back cap, right? Where T1's just pushing into the spawn, wiping players out. So Team CC, they get another map pick here, Jake. Out of the pool, what do you think they should go with?
It's so tough. I mean, that style they played was pretty wild. I'm just trying to think like where else it could work, but at the same time, I don't think you want to run that again. I mean, I think
Did you do it on Shambali?
It's been answered. Yeah, maybe, but honestly, I think on Shambali you're gonna have real problems with like a sim comp. You know, just like a sim TPing on you, running you down. I think there could be real trouble with that. And also, I think T1 have just shown like we know how to crush you. We're gonna go kill your Ana 10 times. And like, honestly, for me, these strats don't work at this level. Like Ana Wuyang, it's greedy, and frankly, a really good team that plays fast and decisively is going to punish you. I don't see how the Ana's ever supposed to live in those scenarios. Honestly, I think that's a strat for Team CC that could look good against a weaker team that doesn't know what to do. But a team like T1 that's that decisive, finds your weakest player and kills him. I mean, they're doing the same thing every fight, and it's just working. So
yeah,
like,
it wasn't like they needed to change up their game plan much.
No,
like,
no. I mean, they had to like. I think they looked a little bit for like, okay, the Venture pick in particular.
Yeah.
Which I think is crucial for Zest, that the Venture is solid. I mean, we've seen Venture, I think, rising and rising in terms of hero priority. Yeah. This could be a really key tournament for Venture players because Tracer Genji both taking that nerf as we talked about.
And I think early on, right, Faraway was getting some value, like taking some off angles in the first round of Nepal. And then I think they realized, like, there is nobody there with him.
Yeah, you were alone.
Faraway, he is alone. So we are going to make it a concerted effort to try and take him out and push on in. Looks like we might actually have a sub here for T1. We'll get that one up when it is confirmed. But very competitive map there between these two teams early on. I just felt like it was such a huge map there potentially for T1 to be able to win it. So Donghack will come in for Jasmine. This tells us maybe like a dive-centric map, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know exactly because I think Donghack has a pretty wide pool, but it does say something in the main tank realm. I mean, I'm sure Donghack has a pretty nice Ramatra.
You wouldn't pick like Dorado, would they?
I mean, for Team CC,
if you want to play Ana, you could play Dorado.
You could
play like high ground.
Play like an Ana dive map.
Far.
I mean, what I'm scared about though is like, I don't think they want that smoke on like a straight up.
No.
I don't see it.
So Midtown is
actually,
you can still play on Midtown.
I think this is probably like a Sigma map.
Yeah.
If I was Team CC and I want to play like, hey, I mean, it would be a different double flex support style. I mean, Ana Wuyang could work in a pick-based style.
Well, not anymore because Wuyang is gone.
Okay, they banned the Wu.
So they get rid of the Wuyang.
Kind of a surprising ban from Team CC.
Considering they played it all map.
Yeah, I wonder if this is actually sort of a support protect. If they want to play double flex support, it might be, you know, something like an Ilari that they want to protect.
Yeah, that's true. And then you see the Zarya ban on the other side, right? So, Ram, Sigma, possibly. Sigma always kind of creeps up on maps like Circuit and maps like Midtown.
Some of these like crazy poke comps on first point defense, I think are like deceptively good.
The Ilari, Bat, Sigma type of stuff.
And throw a Torbon in there, you know, like get crazy with it. For my money, in like a high pressure situation on
Swedish
land,
buff for Torb here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to watch out for that. The lore buff, of course, would come into play here on Midtown. I kind of like those crazy, like, sort of wild poke styles and, like, gambling on the first point hold.
That's really what you're playing for, right? You're playing for an entire first point hold.
Or at least, like, run the clock
OT,
to 0. Yeah.
Then you get, like, the bridge control by the second part of the map. You get that down to, like, a minute something. And it's, like, almost essentially a first point hold, right? So it's, like, that's kind of what you're playing for. The issue is like if those comps, like if the other team starts to like roll you, like you are just like...
Yeah, the opposite can happen. But once again, Team CC, this is a match in which you go gambling, right? This is a match in which you take big risks because you are not the favorite. You might be the higher seed technically, but you're not the favorite. One of the favorite.
Well, would you rather be on offense or defense here to kick things off if you're CC? I feel like I'd almost rather have the defensive side.
Yeah. If you're going to run this crazy cheese, you want to crush the defense and like demoralize the opposition. Frankly, no matter what you run, attacking Midtown first is an unenviable position, man. It is a tough map to flip.
That might be why Donghack comes in, right? A little bit, more variety in terms of tanks are going to be needed here on Midtown, especially like with we see Sigma, you see Diva up on the high ground, right? Like,
what I will say, Matt, is I think one of the best counters to the Sigma is a little Reinhardt Symmetra. It's a little Ryan Stim.
Yeah,
I think that is legit. That is the counter.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that's kind of.
I want to see Donghack bring out the big hammer man.
The Reinhardt.
Deutsche hammer man.
Oh my god.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
We had a Reinhardt.
I'm going
first series here.
Into the knowledge to Pred.
I mean, when Johnny was talking on the pre-show about how like the kind of sim comp, like EMEA kind of spread to the rest of the world, it's like, yeah, for years they were trying to push Rhine comps, and that, well, I guess Ghost kind of exactly worked. But, you know, I mean, you could do that here. The sim is like awesome on this map,
I
right?
like the sim a
Especially
lot.
to kind of get through the choke here on Midtown is nasty.
It's a brutal first point, and you need some sort of trickery, you know, whether it's like playing a highly mobile comp that kind of gets its hooks in, maybe behind the enemy defenders or up into that mega room. But you got to do something to mix it up, because walking down mid is a tough proposition.
Because you can't exactly play like an Echo or anything, because like there's hit scan on the other side that are going to be able to kind of see over the subway. Let's take a look at the finals format, the Worlds format, just to remind you guys kind of where we are at. First game of the entire week. So 12 teams, double in bracket. It's going to be first to 2 here in the upper and the lower round ones. First to 3 for everything else, and then a good old first to 4 for the final. It's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be an awesome week basically of Overwatch. I mean, we're here for a while. I feel like I've already been here for like 4 days. It's only been 2, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, jet lag makes you do crazy things now. But I got a good feeling about this tournament. I'm kind of stoked for that.
Jet lag
grand
is
final.
pretty crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. I even hung out with Johnny yesterday, like outside of work. That's how wild it was. Yeah, I mean, I clearly not in the right mental state.
We'll get that checked out for you.
Yeah. I mean, we may get a doctor to check that one out. But like, I love when we can get more teams at events. Like when we can get 12 teams at events, or even more, right? Just seeing all the teams from all over the globe just be like represented here in person. It's one thing to like play in your region and make it to an event, right? But like to be at an international event, we see teams like for Overwatch World Cup, like we talked about earlier, BlizzCon, right? You meet players from all over the globe who like that's their only opportunity to go to like an event. And that's like really where I love having more teams.
Yeah, see if we're able to get into this one. Of course, Donghack, he's going to be subbing in for T1, which could signal maybe a change of style, a change of their thought process really on Midtown. But I think it's going to be Team CC. They're the ones who picked this map, right? They have to kind of set the stage of what's the prep, why are they going here? I think the Sigma seems like the most plausible style, but I'm kind of curious what they come, maybe like an Orisa, you could play those rush comps, still kind of going for an off-tank direction if you want to.
It feels like, I mean, the Orisa feels like a more of like a offensive pick maybe, where I really do, like, I kind of agree with you, where like Sigma, Baptiste, Alari, right, like these type of heroes with like a Sojourn in the mix, and then you can kind of pick whatever you want in that other spot, and you are really difficult to break through.
And as an attacker, man, like the pressure is so on you on the LAN environment against those comps, because the way those comps win, it's not like a standard matchup where, you know, you're team fighting, you're playing the ultimates, you know, you're engaging on cooldown. The pick comps they just keep getting random kills on you, and you just not really getting to fight.
It's hard to get a team fight, right? Yeah. That's the issue. It's
like you don't want it to happen, right?
No, we see time and time again, like on offense here, where teams will send like a Tracer, like, or, you know, maybe it's like a Genji in certain metas, like to the left-hand side, like that alleyway and around, and they'll just get picked off randomly. Yeah. And then you're waiting for that player to come back. Your tank pushes up a little bit too far in the choke. They make it to the fire truck. They die. And then it's like, you're a support on this map, and you're like, I haven't even seen like half of the map.
I haven't seen an enemy player yet.
I haven't gone through the choke.
It's been weeks.
Because it's so difficult to make it. That's why Sim is so strong on maps like this, though.
Yeah.
Like where these like crazy chokes. You used to be able to just kind of brute force your way with like Lucio to kind of speed you on through, but with the amount of burst damage with some of these comps now, it's like really risky to be able to do that. So Sim makes it a lot less costly.
Yeah. I mean, that prep is going to be crucial, because this is a comp, not only, I think this is like deceptively hard to execute the defense, like everyone needs to know where they're playing, everyone needs to kind of like control their lanes. If you do get the map flipped on you, if the attackers get a lot of pressure on point, especially with the Sim style, I mean, the map can go pretty quick, and as Sigma, it doesn't feel that good walking up to touch point against something like a Sim and a Rhine that are just kind of cooking you, ignoring that kinetic grasp, just beaming you down.
Yeah, the kinetic grasp doesn't do anything when they're just swinging on you freely. It feels quite brutal. So remind you guys where we're at in the set, map number 2. Pretty good. Map number 1 went down to the wire. Team CC may have had some opportunities to win it, but they don't come out on top, and it'll be Midtown here with a Wuyong ban from Team CC, even though they played it throughout all of map number 1, so maybe looking for something really different. And then the Zarya ban here for T1.
And I think the first defense is going to really set the tone on this map, right? Regardless of who defends first.
Yeah, that's true.
Given how strong the defensive position is, it can really be draining to try to push into it. And if you lose a bunch of fights back to back, it can feel like the map's already over. Even though in theory you have just as good of a chance on your own defense, I agree with you, man. I really like to be the defender first here. And I think those honors are going to go to T1, bringing out the Ramatra, playing, a pretty classic fast-paced style. Like, nothing new under the sun here for T1, as we got our team title cards flipped here. But, of course, it is going to be T1 on the defense.
Yeah, it'll be T1 on defense here, and they'll be running with that Ram. So we'll see what Team CC decides to do on offense, right? So not going with a poke comp is T1 on the defensive side of things. They'll actually go with what they ran on control. So nothing too different here for T1. An opportunity though for Team CC to pull out a really interesting comp.
Let's see what they bring. They're scouting things out right now. Probably not going to be playing Roadhog Hanzo.
So a Ram Mirror, interesting enough. And they'll actually, just going to match with the Kiri and the Lucio.
Yeah, I mean, Tracer versus Venture. I like the Venture pick here. Let's see, T1 very comfortable on this style as right now Team CC walking up, trying to bait a bit of aggression out of the front line. Proud opens things up onto Pineapple. And without your Sojourn, I feel like this is just a quick reset for Team CC. They just really are going to lack the damage without Sojourn. So much of this comp revolves around putting your hit scan in a position to succeed. And last map was very back and forth. Pineapple had his big moments, but here on the defense, especially with a Venture breathing down your neck, it's going to be very difficult. Great walk up right now for Team CC though, taking a bit of pressure. Forcing a little bit back, but a better ram form for Donghak. He's going to be in a strong position here.
Yeah, Donghak was very low and then backed up, but Team CC I think was just a little bit too slow to capitalize on it. But they have gotten a decent amount of map progress, right? So they pushed up a little bit. They've gotten here to this fire truck. They've gotten around to the firehouse. So they're actually in a much better spot now. But I mean, that is a second kill here from Proud on a Pineapple early.
And Proud just takes a dominant angle on the sight line here, just crushing through these attackers, sending them packing. And Team CC gonna take the full reset here. I mean, that's tough for a Pineapple, right? 2 back-to-back first deaths from the Sojourn. It doesn't bode well for this offense.
It also feels like that the Venture is just way more impactful than Tracer at the moment. Like, Kaneki is getting into the back line and like peppering players and putting down damage, but like no real like kill pressure or threat, where every time Zest burrows, it feels like everybody on Team CC freaks out.
Oh my god, he's just crushed. Vigilante with the daggers opens up onto Kaneki on the Tracer. Proud, big jump up to the high ground, already drops Billy Dang and gets the support as well. The Kiri TP is good. Proud with another headshot. Haoyo-chan just clapped out of this one, and once again, Team CC sent packing. We're at the 2-minute mark. No ultimates have really come out in this game, but it's T1 with the full control.
What is Kaneki's plan there? Is it to just try and put pressure on the supports and back up Donghak, and then maybe that kind of creates enough space? Because he ends up recalling right into the vortex and just dies instantly, and it's really easy for T1 to just come back and retake.
I mean, it's just desperation, right? Here comes Proud with the overclock, sending players back. Doesn't get any good rail connections just yet, so that's a win for Team CC, right? Draining one of these key defenders' ultimates out. Pineapple, 13% from his own OC. That could be crucial, but here comes the rush. T1 not letting up the pressure. They do not want to give up any of this choke control. It's a rush trade, though, and starting to look pretty good for Team CC. T1 layers on the beat, though. They're not backing down just yet. Continuing this fight. Better be from Team CC. The OC as well from Pineapple. And this defense is starting to crumble. Team CC pull the attackers all the way into their side of the map, but they're just getting absolutely wiped off the field. That being said,
you're gonna get another fight though, right?
Exactly, because you fought so far into Team CC spawn, there's gonna be a long time for a reset, and now with ultimates drained out, it's anybody's game on the retake. Donghak straight to the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, and I mean, you're gonna have Zest with the Venture ultimate here, right? The Tectonic Shock, we'll see if Donghak can get on, and most certainly will get a touch. It'll get contested here before even a second tick comes in.
And the Venture ult forcing players to the high ground. Venture struggling to get those connections. Can he get a 1-in off? Not quite. And the high ground control is good enough. Zest gets a couple kills, stalls things out. Yo, wait, a third? No way. Okay. But wait, this is actually, I think you get another
fight. This is kind of winnable, though. Yeah.
This is winnable. You have a Wrecking Ball. You have a Venture.
Donghak is still alive, so he's still able to just kind of get in here. You're going to have the TP from Vigilante as soon as he comes back, so I think you're in a good spot here. I mean, you don't even have a second tick here for Team CC. This is brutal.
Oh, Donghak is just having a field day here. kind of takes an awkward role on the ball, but Venture should be here to touch in a moment's notice. Here comes Zest holding on, creating a lot of space, opportunities for Proud, but can Proud find the kill? Needs to get something, nothing just yet. The support is good though, keeping him strong. Proud finds one, and this could be the beginning of the end for Team CC. We're already in overtime without one support. Kiriko, far away, has to carry an immense burden here, but so many players taking pressure at simultaneously.
It's going to be really hard to get Billy Deng off the point, though.
Yeah, Billy Deng's in trouble. Pops the Ram ult. Still a little bit healthy. OC pop. Full commitment from Proud. He needs to find some big rails and fast. Kaneki takes down Skewed. The hack is good. Proud punishes immediately, but in the end, the Ram ult just too dominant on the point. And Team CC get it over the line, but man, they were sweating for that one in.
Yeah, it is not easy there for Team CC, but let's take a listen in here to see how they attack this second point.
OK， 球半探起去右边了。
我在探起，靠影。
我去帮他一下。我在帮你。
我这一套。
捂嘴踢。
慢点。
对面我这边才4个压力。
我先下去了，别急，我绕。
我走了。我得干。
我能来，头上地垫拿我。
我拎球。
对，
减速，我
躲一下蹲。我还可以来这边。
我右边可以来，我右边可以上楼。别急。放眼帮踢我这边帮。我走。打了，我帮你解住。他过不来，滴。
过不来。
球雷到。没带。
探几次。
我抢我。
别急。
走。没事，我能动车了。你慢点。我接人，一个人，别死就行了。啊，下波，他灵狐交了没？啊，灵狐交了吧？交了。OK， 那就个探旗。
有嫌疑这边，那个李卓有先
对，你们把这边清走，我去看楼上。球开了。手电半血，我能扛压力。
被割了。探基地，我在哪里？
没事，你们动车，我帮你接我
直接在车边。
探起来大。
我只好黑车边了。啊，准备够了，接。
我操！
我在先蹲。
探基地。
下播了。
Tom's got real quiet there, Matt, in the end of that team fight. That's not a great sign. I didn't understand much, but
I was expecting you to break down the comms. I didn't expect you to tell me it was quiet. I knew that. But no, it was a... I mean, that's what we talked about, right? You get this really good first point hold. It gets into OT. And now you kind of strangle them out in terms of time here by getting some of that high ground control. You lose Pineapple. I mean, that's your EMP. This is brutal here. For Team CC, they're just going to get bullied back to their spawn.
Big swing all the way into the back line behind the Diva. Not getting the greatest connections out of this overclock, but it doesn't matter. Zest is doing the job of 10 men here. Big cleanup. EMP forced solo onto the Kiriko. It is enough to take down Vigilante, but players dropping like flies on this point. Kaneki with a pulse. Hold on. There could be more to play as the point gets stalled out. We're deeper into this overtime, but it's so hard. Zest and Skewed together fighting on this part. Rush is deployed. Far away, is he going to be able to get this touch? Taoyotron takes down Skewed, and so hold on. There's still something to fight for here. Vigilante needs to get back and get a rush of his own. But it's such an awkward...
They're going to get Billy Deng back. Oh, the mines.
The mines and the C9 there. But in the end, honestly, you have a rush coming back and the minefield on the point. And that one's probably not going your way as CC.
Yeah.
It's winnable now, but it feels like it's a first hold do or die to me, Matt.
Yes. It feels like if we get... especially if it's like T1 getting a pretty fast point A take, it feels like it's over, right? So I think Team CC, you have to know, right? Like if you're kind of talking right here before this next half, you are all in on this first point defense. We can take look at this. Billy Deng still putting up some pretty good performances here. For Team CC, Proud constantly though finding those first bloods.
Yeah, I mean, Proud has been huge. I think Zest, again, amazing on the Venture. Really low death, and also freeing up Donghak to get very aggressive, right? Like, having a Venture be this second very powerful option for holding on to the checkpoints. And Team CC not going to go with, like, the wild and wacky poke style that I was somewhat hoping for. They're going much more standard. They're actually going to mirror the Venture now, which I quite like in this series. At the same time, Pineapple on this Freya could be another difference maker. Was great on Nepal.
Yeah, and I think the Freya offers, obviously you're able to kind of like get some sight lines above the subway car. You're actually able to get some longer sight lines. And I think just a little bit more like consistent damage, like making it difficult to kind of chip them away as they're coming through the choke.
I wonder if Zest is going to stick to this Tracer.
Do you think the Venture is hard to play on offense here?
A little bit, but I think it might just be a scout on Tracer. We'll have to see what Zest read on the meta is and see how T1 approach this attack, because it doesn't get any easier, right? No matter who's on the attack, who's on the defense. Now it's Pineapple's turn to be in the dominant position, to kind of control these chokes. You know, Proud walks up a very difficult scenario. See, he just doesn't get many chances to find a kill.
Yeah, and a little bit more verticality from the Freya as well also makes it a little bit harder for the Venture to just kind of chase down that hero, as you see a few players on T1 taking some big shots here. Zest gets dangerously low. Vigilante now going to heap everybody up. They do lose Zest.
Yeah, and the poke is good here. Team CC crawling out a little bit better. Zest not really getting much of anything done in that fight. Curious to see if we won't see a Venture swap, but for now, sticking to the Tracer. Maybe just feeling that it's too hard to get these front-to-back rush brawls. You maybe just want to draw a little bit of attention on the Tracer.
Yeah, I think it's to try and get through that left alley and put a little bit more pressure behind. And then you see right there using the Boink to kind of get into the back line.
And I think he's in clean. Like, I don't think there's much of a response from Team CC. He's going to reset the blinks and start harassing from the back line, start to destabilize this defense.
Yeah, like this is the type of position that like Zest wants to force here, right? Maybe just kind of draw attention over to it. Team CC doesn't seem to be falling for it here at the moment, right? They're playing very aggressive up in the choke. They're just kind of having, it looks like, far away some of the other players just kind of looking over towards Zest.
The space has been created, like the damage is done. Team CC lost choke control. Proud opens up onto Kaneki. Zest is finally shut down by Faraway. That's a crucial move to kind of staunch the bleeding in this backline. But Proud has the opportunity to find more kills. He's up on this Sojourn, forcing Billy Dang up into the train, and that gives T1 an opportunity to step up onto the point, start threatening this capture. For now, they're going to step into the high ground, trying to just keep this control. Vigilante with the first rush of the game. Is it enough to continue it? And Proud almost dying to this Venture, or rather to this Freya on the high ground. Takes a step into the rush and now retakes up. Has this OC. This could be a bit of a problem now, Team CC.
Yeah, it was a Kitsune rush here used by T1 as well, as they're just kind of pushing Team CC back into this alley, and that is not a position they want to be in. Kaneki finds one. Billy Dang does end up having the Annihilation. He ends up popping it.
I mean, this big player advantage for T1, and yeah, Billy Dang ends up throwing good money after bad there. Honestly, I love the experience from T1. I think a lot of weaker teams there would have forced the point and maybe played a little bit more standard, but they recognize, hey, Team CC are hoping to hold things off and hoping to get a regroup. Yeah, but we're going to force the fight. Maybe Venture can stall, but this is a really challenging fight to win from this position.
Oh, they rush. They rush as well. They're going to use the Tectonic Shock, so they're all in on this, and I kind of like it for CCC.
Can they get the kills? Proud finds first blood. Proud looks for more. Freya breathing down his neck on this high ground. And it's a 1-for-1, so there's still a fight to be played here. T1 struggling out. Pineapple cleans up Proud. It's going the other way at the same time, so T1 trying to regroup, trying to stabilize, but they just don't have the HP for it. Billy then gets back in on the retake with D.Va.
I like it.
And because T1 are in trouble now.
Because I think if you're Team CC, you know if you just give up point there, you're basically done.
Yeah, they have to gamble.
So you may as well just invest heavy and then try and draw it into OT, and now you give yourself a fight opportunity, right? Where there's no support ultimates on the other side, just the Pulse Bomb. You have an opportunity to win this here.
And Pulse Bomb, I mean, talk about a troubled ultimate right now. So many characters have answers to it on Team CC. See if Zest can get it done. Despite the Nerfs to Tracer, Pulse Bomb, still the ultimate. It's always been the difference maker in testing moments. With Pineapple, he has that bullet shot, and can be much more deadly.
Yeah, well, I mean,
already dropping low. The front line is struggling.
You think about the bullet shot he had on Nepal, not exactly the one here, but Dongat gets low. Now you've lost the tank.
Proud drops the body before he goes down, but I mean, the damage is done. Pineapple finding that kill. T1 getting cleaned up. I mean, Billy Dang is just the Terminator on the server right now. You cannot deal with this D.Va. Donghack gonna come up back on the Wrecking Ball, but somebody has to get this touch. It's gonna be Zest, has the recall. He's gonna get that OT wig burning. Maybe Donghack can get that next. Still a fight to be played. Q goes down again, though, without the Lucio. This is a long and hard fight.
Kitsune rush coming out. Oh, they get it. They get Vigilante. That's massive. That should be it.
And that's Team CC, man. Winning Midtown. Unbelievable. Donghack's here to touch one more time, but no chance to win the fight. And a beautiful last-second retake out of CC earns them a map win. And we talked about the potential for an upset here. We didn't think it was real, but Team CC are starting to make a believer out of some of our fans now, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was real. I just don't think it was a scenario where they win 2 in a row, but that is definitely up there right now, where potentially they could actually just take 2 in a row, take out T1. But I gotta say, I love that decision. Obviously, it pays off for them to invest super heavy, come back, and try and win that there, which they end up taking that fight. And then look, 50 seconds left. You know there's really no ultimates on the other side. Even if there were, you'd like your chances there than getting a 3-minute, almost 2.5 minute, 3-minute hold on that next part of the map. So I think that was a great call there by Team CC, and I think it definitely caught T1 a little off guard.
Honestly, I think the Tracer maybe the wrong pick on the offense from Zest. Right?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, he clearly has been way more impactful playing Venture throughout this.
We've seen both teams look better on the Venture. Even same for Konecti, right? Struggled on the Tracer.
Yeah.
Looked a lot better on the Venture. So maybe this is going to be a bellwether pick for some of our flex DPS players this tournament.
Yeah, I'll take a look at some of the stats here. Proud obviously had a great game in terms of the hit scan. Dude, Billy Dang has been popping off.
Those are big numbers. Those are big numbers on the server, especially considering that was a tough offense. Still got the job done, and then coming over to the D.Va looking so strong. I mean, D.Va is great this patch. Another hero that we're going to expect to see a lot of this tournament.
Their offense, it felt like every time they were moving through the choke, Proud is able to take out Pineapple. Pineapple with like 11 deaths on the Sojourn and Freya. So clearly, Proud obviously getting the better, but man, it just they made the right moves there on defense. They kind of held them long enough to the point where they just need to win that one fight, get them off of the point, and then get into OT. Because, I mean, if you don't get that first point hold, like we were talking about a lot, I think you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I think once the map opens up, that's where T1, I think I favor them a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's a bit more individualistic, a bit more opportunity for Zest to find those solo kills.
Yep.
But it doesn't get done. And Team CC even the series 1-1. That being said, Matt, as big of a win as this is for Team CC, now you're staring down the barrel of a T1 map pick. For the first time this series, they're going to be able to take us where they want to go, show us what they're the best at.
And where do you go if you are T1? Is it like, okay, so you have Escort in the pool, you have Push, and then you also have Flashpoint, right? Like
these Korean teams, they love Flashpoint. They
like,
love
you see like a Suravasa, potentially?
I mean, I'm curious about Nujong City. I think they're like, especially after the rework.
Yeah.
What are teams going to be bringing there? What's the style? Is it going to be sort of the same as it was? Is there opportunity for new looks? But from what T1 have played so far, I think I would be surprised to see anything but a Flashpoint.
I would agree. I think, though, T1, it's also an interesting scenario. What do you do with the bans? Like, if I'm Team CC, would you consider banning Venture?
It's interesting. I mean, both teams have looked good with it.
Right, but it feels like, though, you don't exactly want to play it.
Yeah, it's like, where does the series even go without Venture right now?
Right.
That would be a wild card ban, and Team CC is a wild card team.
Oh, man, I mean, Reinforced, like, he totally copped out on this, so we're not giving him any credit whatsoever. But he was like, I think Team CC is a bit of a dark horse, and then he directly picked T1.
I told him yesterday, I said, you should predict CC. It would be hype. And he didn't do it. He didn't take our advice, Matt.
He didn't do it. So if Team CC wins and we go back to the desk and he starts promoting himself, you guys know.
We're picking Johnny's Candy if CC wins. The rules are the rules.
Yeah. If Team CC wins, we get to pick Johnny's candy. I guess we all pick each other's candy. But I mean, look, they've surprised me. I'm going to be real. I thought it could be a close game, right? One of those ones where it's like a 2-0 and we all go like, they had some opportunities.
Yeah, they had some plays, but they won a map, man. And they even won a round on control. So I feel like the doubters got to be pretty quiet right now.
They could have won control.
For China.
They could have won control. So it looks like Jasmine actually coming back in here for T1. Looks like, let's see if that's the only sub we have here for T1 potentially. Obviously some other players on the roster, but looks like at least for now, just Jasmine.
I mean, I wonder if they don't just want to play some Zarya comps here and just like run it down, play Zarya, speed the Zarya around, bubble the Venture. Easy does it, man. Like, it's
I would ban the
good.
Venture. If I was CC, I would seriously consider banning the Venture because, like, it didn't feel as scary when Zest was playing the Tracer, right? That's where they were winning some of those ones. So Jasmine coming in here, so like Tank flipping and flopping here in this series. Especially with these short series, it doesn't feel like, I mean, you obviously played Overwatch at a professional level. I played other games eons ago at a professional level where like subs weren't even a thing. It feels like you don't get in a rhythm in a first to two, in and out.
And Viper's in for Zest as well.
Okay, all right. So we're making some serious changes here.
I mean, that's an interesting swap.
We did hear that, though, he was playing in some script.
Yeah, we have heard that. So, I mean, the other side of the coin, though, is, yes, in this match, maybe you're not getting into that rhythm, maybe you're not getting that time, but maybe you just think as T1, you have the confidence that you will close it out, whatever the roster may be. And this also lets quite a few players start to get into the rhythm of the tournament, right? In a much broader perspective. Get them a little bit of play time, you know, like shake off some of the nerves. You're here on land. Let's see what you got. And if you close out this win, I mean, Team CC have proven themselves as a real contender here. I would not say this is like T1 dropping the ball or T1 looking really weak. I mean, we've criticized them in the past, but I think Team CC have looked really good. Like, the honest stuff on Nepal was a little sus, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
But it almost worked.
It almost worked, yeah. I would be, like, it's really difficult to, like, I would actually be a little bit disappointed in T1, obviously, losing this. Like, I think Team CC would be, like, a great story. Maybe China's a bit better than we thought. They had a great series. But, like, this T1 roster is, like, built to try and, you know, hang with Falcons and Crazy Raccoon. Like, T1 doesn't just enter a game and, like, you know, just puts together a roster for fun, right? Like, they obviously...
They play to win.
Yeah, they are trying to win everything. Like, so, and this roster is very good. Like, the players on it are super talented. So we will see New Junk City here.
I'm excited to see New Junk City after the reworks being played. This map's been a lot of fun for me in ranked. Like, I've been really enjoying New Junk City. And I also think this is a pretty great venture map. Probably not as great as it was before with some of the tighter chokes.
Right.
But still, I think a lot of opportunity to play some of these fast-paced rush comps. I think this is really just T1 throwing down the gauntlet and playing Lucio. And as you said, the venture ban.
Yeah, I mean, they got to close the curtain. Team CC heard me probably, but I was like,
they took their coaching advice from me, man. Yeah. Based on their comms, man, I suspect that they may not speak English.
Based on that, well, who says I don't?
You were coaching them in Mandarin between the games.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
I hit my callback button in our producer.
All right. You said, get me into Team CC's comms.
Funnel me into Team CC's comms right now.
You've been practicing your man.
I need to tell them.
I'm ready to turn this series around.
In Mandarin that they must ban Venture. But no, I think it's a great call. It's, you know, Lau, you mentioned, like, Venture, fairly good here on New Junk City. Like, historically, obviously, some changes that happened to the map recently, so let's see how that plays out. And it felt like the Zarya bubbling the Venture was really giving them some trouble. And, like, let's say they wanted to go back to, I'm not saying they will, they wanted to go back to some of that Ana stuff. It feels like Faraway can handle his own a little bit better against, like, a Tracer look than potentially a Venture.
So on New Junk City, I think that kind of a strat is just going to be rough. Like, this is a map you need mobility.
They will probably lose if they do that.
Not playing Lucio or like some mobility tool.
Like Lucio Ana, you would probably lose here.
You would be in a scary spot. You know, there's no room for error. And if it's a Zarya mirror as well, kind of mitigates some of the value from Ana. You just bubble off those nades.
Yeah.
You know, kind of.
Well, in the first map as well, I think we had a Kiri ban, right?
Yeah.
So that
which made the Ana further better. Where like Lucio Kiri, you don't love playing these immobile backliners against that kind of pace that can be brought. And with Jasmine in, like you said, though, the really interesting question is what's going to happen on this flex DPS role? I wonder, what if you go to something like, you go completely away from mobility, you go to like a Mei or a Reaper, and you just kind of like brawl it out in the front line. We have not seen New Junk City, to my knowledge, played at the professional level since the rework.
I don't think so.
It's kind of open season now.
Yeah, and obviously these teams have been here for, you know, a day or two, so they've had ability to like scrim, boot camp against each other. Some teams came out even earlier than that.
Boot camping in Europe and getting used to the time zone and everything. And that's smart, honestly, from those teams.
And I mean, look, EMEA has a certain brand of Overwatch that seems to be pretty successful, right? So maybe they did pick up some stuff, right? Maybe there is a little, sneaky Mei, like Reaper, little rush style of play here that T1 could pull out.
I would like to see Zest in the Reaper, man.
So but with the Ram ban, we talked so much about the Venture ban. With the Ram ban, right?
I guess they're more or less forcing Zarya.
Zarya, yeah.
Because Ram is a strong counter to Zarya, and it makes the matchup much more
but Billy Dang
static.
has been kind of frying on the Zarya, though.
True. But honestly, though, Jasmine looked pretty good in that first round.
Yeah.
Right? I think. We didn't really get to see the Zarya's clash because it was like, I'm gonna go kill your Ana over and over again.
All right. Well, that's the thing. I was just gonna say, is the first? It's like, what do you believe really? Like, was the first map just like an inherent like skill gap, right? Or was it just the fact that like Team CC was trying to force this Ana, and it was very easy for T1 to find a path to victory of play Ana, play Venture, go after the Ana. They try to have Billy Dang sometimes on the Zarya, go protect the Ana, so now you split two players off, right?
We just killed them both.
And then you just go take the point. Like, it wasn't rocket science there. So maybe it's like, you kind of take some of those things off the table, and like, you know, just a head-to-head, it feels like they're a little closer.
I mean, the thing is, it seems to me that both teams now are going to kind of like double down on this off-tank style.
Yeah.
You know, with Jasmine coming in, and I think, as you said, I don't think we got the fair shake for Billy Dang on map 1. I think it was one of like I think Team CC laid a trap. They played, I would say, a cheese style. One that, if you make too many mistakes, it, like, can run away with the game. But now we're going to Flashpoint. I think this is going to be a raw Lucio battle and really a true test of who's the best Zarya.
Yeah, totally. And I know we showed you guys some of the drops a little bit earlier. We also got a pretty sweet bundle available, the Scarlet bundle in the shop. Make sure you guys pick that up. Supports the OWCS World Finals prize pool. I mean, dude, the Freya skin is, I mean, all these skins are sick. Like the Overwatch team,
they cook.
They're just pumping out some heat.
And having these like trophy emotes in game is pretty fire, honestly.
Yeah.
Like having the OWCS trophy showcased in the game is kind of a beautiful moment for Overwatch Esports.
Yeah, and I mean, you see kind of the different name cards and icons. So it's not just the skins. You kind of get a nice little bundle. Get a little.
I gotta be so real with you, Matt. I
Yeah.
think the Mercy skin's the best. I think the Mercy skin's peak.
It is pretty peak. I mean,
Like,
I would never play
some Mercy.
I'm not really a Mercy player. I think you guys know that by now if you've been watching this show. But I would still rock the skin occasionally in the spawn, do a little 360, turn the DPI up to 1800 on the Mercy. Let's take a look at the bracket. Show you guys where we are at. So we're gonna have all of those games on that left-hand side, that upper end ones today. Some pretty fire matchups, especially considering like this one's gotten off to a great start.
Yeah, it's proven to be maybe more interesting than we were expecting, Matt. And it all comes down to this, the final third map on Flashpoint. No draws here.
Next time we do one of these big events, though, like let's hook our boys Varel up with a little bit of a.
Come on.
I'm not saying let's give Varel a little bit of a layup here early on, but
there's no layups here. There's no layups in the tournament. But Falcons,
let's keep them around a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
come on.
We invite a team from Australia or New Zealand. They could play against them in the round 1 or something like that. Like get something a little. I want to see Varel. Dude, the fans are so excited for Varel. And like I remember in Riyadh, we like loved watching them play and see them. Obviously, it's a really tough draw with Falcons early on.
I mean, there's not that many easy draws in this round 1, but Falcons, I think it's fair to say, is just about the worst. Somebody had to take that hit. Somebody had to take that L.
And we have
every other team saying better you than me, Varel.
We have put Varel on a platter, and they'll be served to Falcons. But who knows? Hey. First of 2, weird stuff happened. Alcapsia, right, when they were playing Tread back in Champions Clash, they were able to take Falcons to a third map, right, which is a very interesting, close affair, so you never know.
There's always room now, especially with the ban phase in Overwatch, right?
True.
It, I think, opens up some variables, allows a little bit more opportunity for individuals to have a big moment on match day to kind of navigate their way through a series. And, one missed ban that's kind of maybe not quite placed where it should be, you can find yourself in a tough scenario as we enter New Junk City, which will be our final map of this series. We'll be taking our first winner of our first match here in OWCS Stockholm. We got many more games to play, a lot more Overwatch on the cards today.
I mean, this would be a game that definitely, sets the stage moving forward, maybe a little bit differently than we have thought, right? Where if Team CC is able to get a win here, what does that mean for how we think Weibo is, right? Is Weibo kind of, waiting in that next round in the uppers? It's a huge match here, and obviously T1, probably a little bit of pressure on them here as well, Jake. So T1 here, it will be a Zarya comp, I think, as like
Mei versus Genji.
But a Genji here into the Mei of Kaneki. I kind of like the Mei.
Yeah, I do too. It's a tough comp to be using the Blizzard into, I will say that. Monstrous responses to Blizzard. And already the tempo taken away. They have to bubble the Mei off. Good wall there onto Jasmine, really forcing him off the angle. But right now, T1 in control, getting a little bit better of the Zarya energy trade here. So crucial in this comp. Viper, I mean, so far so good on this Genji in control. Pineapple goes down first. Viper strikes. Gets some nice damage on Lucio, but Lucio does punish that counter kill.
Yeah, and nobody taking the point just yet, right? As okay, you get 2. I mean, that's both DPS there down now for T1. I was going to say, for me, it's going to be T1 who takes the point first. Like, you're going to have to see Pineapple step up in a massive way for Team CC to be able to win this one. It feels like Proud's gotten a better out of them throughout the series, but I mean, both DPS down right away, but I don't know if Team CC can capitalize.
Oh, wall was not perfect, but it's still enough to take down Jasmine. They were able to burst down that Zarya before he can get into cover. Viper back in on the Genji, takes one down, but immediately traded back, and Team CC gonna be able to flip this point back very quick. Here's Billy Dag with 3.
A little casual triple.
100 energy as well coming into that next team fight, and these Zarya comps can snowball very hard off those energy spikes, man.
Well, and because Faraway lives the entire time, right? A huge advantage here in terms of Kitsune Rush. Maybe you can kind of catch them off guard a little bit with that. And look at Kaneki already basically out of Blizzard.
Hyo-chan, man, big dog on the server getting those 2 DPS kills. That's going to be a member. We got to check that one out on the replay, that's for sure.
Check his PC. No, I mean, he frying there. I mean, that is huge, right? Because you don't get those 2 kills. I mean, Proud ends up getting that first pick off. They're on the Pineapple, and now you end up losing Skewed, and Skewed had Sound Barrier, so now you don't even have to invest some of these key ultimates, Jake.
And Team CC coming in hot on our decisive map here. And, I mean, T1 has kind of struggled. They got into that first fight pretty competitively. Oh, this is trouble. Jasmine getting attacked, and I mean, this feels like Nepal all over again, but the roles reversed. Team CC on the Lucio themselves, being aggressive, punishing anyone on those off angles, and T1 are on a desperation retake here. You may be forced to send players into their death.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Viper trying to get around that outside
trouble.
Very close. Yeah,
He's dead to rights here. I mean, they're just going to swarm him down with the Lucio. Pineapple cleans up the kill. No touch. And Team CC, 5 ultis coming.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So you're going to have T1. They're going to build up to just about everything as well. But that is a very good first point there for Team CC. And let's see if they can kind of catch anybody off guard. Oh, they're going to go with the grab. I like that.
Very nice grab. The cleanse is good. It stabilizes things for a moment. T1 are going to hold on to the beat, though. And actually, I kind of like this call because you have a lot of time before that point opens. So, yeah, you get a team life here for Team CC, but how much is it really worth?
You get control of the choke, right? You end up kind of investing the grab for it. On the opposite side, though, you end up like, it's not like Team CC had to invest any support ultimates into that, right? You're going to end up with your rush and beat to deal with some of this firepower that T1's going to be coming out of you, but you don't even really kind of take advantage of having this choke.
The overclock could be big right now. Aggressive beat going in with Skewed here. Maybe forced into that, but Viper already takes down the Sojourn. The trade is good onto Stoj. Here comes the Blizzard, and Viper dashed into it. Just gets the bubble in time, though. A lot of good responses to the Blizzard. OC from Proud is going to be able to slam the door on this fight from Team CC. So T1 giving up a little bit of percentage on the cap, but in the end, they have control, and I would say the ultimate advantage here, given that it's relatively even and controlling the choke is going to make it pretty awkward for Team CC to open with this rush.
I mean, controlling the choke with your rush and your blade, it feels like a huge advantage, especially with Sound Barrier burn from both sides. So I expect T1 to kind of rattle off another fight or two here.
Wide swing coming out from the Sojourn here. Pineapple trying to get out into the open, but can't quite get it. Jasmine punishes Kaneki in that choke point. Here comes the bubbles. They give him one, but Pineapple still bursted down. Jasmine clean on this Zarya. And Team CC trying to just make it back to the spawn, trying to get a clean reset, but they're not able to. And with the Genji, I mean, the punish is immediate out of T1, right? You give them an inch, they're going to take miles from you, getting those final blow resets on the Swift Strike. And Viper holds on to the blade.
Yeah, it just feels like they need Pineapple a little bit more here to be able to kind of match some of the firepower that Proud is putting out, right? The overclock there, not able to find anything. Whenever Proud is able to use that OC, he feels like finds one or two. So you still end up holding on to this blade here for T1. I mean, I don't even know if Team CC is going to be in a great spot to even try and make a play for this.
They have the Mei. Okay, someone's getting the touch. There's still a fight to be had here, but this Mei is going to be chopped to pieces. I don't know if Viper even needs to pop the blade. Wanda gets a little bit of help, but yeah, once again, I mean, it's only the rush to close it out. So that's the best you can hope for T1 here. You know, one ultimate, guarantee the fight win, get a point on the board. And Team CC now, I mean, that has engineered a bit of an advantage for them. Like, rush, probably the most important ult in this comp.
Yeah, and I mean, you have a slight advantage in terms of Sound Barrier as well, right? So maybe here, if you're Team CC, you feel like you have a slight advantage potentially coming into this one. We'll see. I think it's really on Viper in this blade. Proud gets dangerously low, not able to finish him off.
And honestly, the Mei kind of fallen off. Like, that first point, so many powerful Mei walls, but now onto the map, you're not really seeing the value anymore. Graviton Surge online for Billy Dank. Can he get that big connection? Here comes the OC out of Proud as a challenging ultimate to respond to. Far away. Has that rush on the point, but no one really wants to step up and use it. Kaneki, big headshot connection onto Viper. Feud holding onto the beat for now, and he's actually not going to pop it. Doesn't feel like they're going to be able to live the grab and actually turn that fight around. just holds on to the next fight.
All right, now it feels like we've had the Blade for too long, right?
Yeah, I think
it's like you would have had another Blade potentially at this point, I think, if you're Viper.
it's tough when you're up against a grab because
you're
like,
right.
mincemeat for Zarya, you dash in and just get grabbed up. But now is a fight I'd very much expect to see it come out.
Yeah, but now they have sound barrier still, right? They have the beat again. So let's see if they can actually time it. You also have Blizzard, right? Like if they try and grab, you can actually use that Blizzard for defensively.
If you get any Blizzard value, you're the GOAT on Kaneki. It's so hard to do in this comp. With Cleanse, with Zarya, already forced the Ice Block. Here comes the beat. A much better beat from Team CC, though, much later into the fight. And moving that Zarya deeper into the Blizzard. Okay, there's the value. Jasmine is down. T1 trying to get a desperation flip here. Beautiful kill from Viper, but pretty much only style points for that one. So Yoon finds Kaneki. But there's still maybe a fight to play. Hao-Chan coming in, tangling with the DPS with that Zarya bubble.
I mean,
Crowd
dude,
goes down.
The Mei wall there from Kaneki is enormous, right? Splits off that choke. It's basically just going to give Team CC this point. It looks like maybe T1 actually tries to want to get in here and fight this here as a few players here. Yeah, they do get OT.
And here comes the Blade, maybe. Viper up high, pops it straight into the backline, takes down one, a second, a third. No, forces the Ice Block for the moment, but Lucio doesn't have that skill. Almost a C9 on the point. That was way too close, T1.
So they finally...
If they C9 that one, it's mental boom. It's mental boom.
That would have been brutal. I mean, you do end up getting really good value out of the Blade, though, right? We'll see what Team CC decides to do here. A little bit of the clapback is, dude, Pineapple with the OC. There's nothing on the other side, right?
Rush, I mean, like,
yeah, but
you can do it, though.
But he's got to be able to finally...
Oh, no, Proud.
But that's like the difference right now, though, in this series on this final map, right? It's like these openers here that are coming out from Proud constantly. You're just not able to get these really from Pineapple. Both supports get dangerously low here for Team CC.
Team 1 are playing with such pace around this Genji. Look at them, they're out front here, fighting close to the enemy choke. Here comes the rush. Pineapple pops the OC, needs to find kills. There's one, can he get a second? He's fighting into the rush, booped off the map. Dude takes him down. Pineapple, only one, but isn't enough. Proud, still healthy, still watches the flank. The goalie with the overclock. One kill for now, and they're even gonna stall out this carry, get a late kill on her, and that should be another point for T1. And without a flanker, you just don't get a touch here. I mean, maybe Lucio can get it tricky, but you're just dead for that if you do.
And this one is going to sting there for Team CC. If you end up losing this map, that's probably the point you go back and look at and is like, man, maybe we kind of gave that one up, as they do take that early rotation to the next point. And I think with the Mei, it's probably something you definitely want to do, right? Have the Mei here available to use the wall in some of these chokes.
Position taken by Team CC. They're going to be happy to kind of find themselves on the defense with this Mei. But this checkpoint, I mean, it's been opened up dramatically here with the map rework. Big connection on the Genji. Needs another Zarya bubble potentially to stay alive. The support is good. They grab onto the Genji, but the beat finally comes down from Skewed. This time, they stand and deliver through it, and a much better grab. Team CC dropping low, cleaning house T1. 2 kills on the board already, and soon to be the rest of Team CC. Just the support's alive. Wait, Far Away finds Viper. Okay, wait, so this is getting a little bit scrappy
as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to come back and try and retake this, right? Proud still up here on the high ground. I think these players just need to try and focus on staying alive until they get the rest of the players back, but you end up losing Far Away. So now it feels like you're going to have to wait even longer here if you're Team CC.
I mean, that's really bad, right? Because now the clock is going to start to run down. Lucio Kira going to be fast off the respawn. Kaneki with the Blizzard. Talked about a lot, challenging ultimate, but maybe the Mei wall could get a little bit more value on this high ground, maybe split apart Jasmine, so you're gonna see this. T1's already, be careful, but they're just aggroing deep into the back line. Aggro move, Team CC respond with the beat, and just kind of clapping this. I mean, T1 going for broke there, and Team CC respond with real veterancy. Honestly, a lot of weaker teams could have just fallen apart from a rush like that.
And it feels like you need to end up using your sound barrier there. It doesn't really feel like you have an opportunity with where the game sits.
You can't take that. No,
right?
That's the game if you get wiped there.
Yeah, for Team CC to kind of just sit back and wait, and maybe try and disengage. I felt like they would have been at a loss there. So I guess for T1, you feel like you end up getting the beat out, and now you have Proud with an OC and Viper with the Blade.
I don't like this for Team CC. This is Proud stepping up with the OC. Here it comes. open season. Somebody's got to touch the point, though. Someone's got to force people into this Proud sightline, but here he comes, forcing it in himself, connecting in with the Genji, following up that kill. May in trouble. No ice block pop. Here comes the Blizzard. Isn't it good enough? But Viper gets that bubble. Is going to be able to step out of trouble. Rush on the point as well for Vigilante. Team CC have lived well. Pineapple needs to find a counter kill. This is his moment. This is his time. Can he get the connections? Nothing just yet. T1 giving him no chances. Vigilante slips step away, and now still 5-on-5 on the point. Team CC a chance to win this one, but the point control to T1 is going to buy them another chance. That kill onto Jasmine is huge, though, and the flip back as well.
Yeah, you still have a few players here lingering, though, for T1. You got to end up clearing them out here if your team's
Proud.
These kills are huge. Proud and Viper get one apiece.
Jasmine should just be... It should just be impossible to fight without the Zarya here. I mean, Billy Dang, healthy, dominant. But T1 aren't making it easy on him, man, and the ults are coming up very soon. Skewed is low HP, but so is Billy Dang. He's in real trouble, rips the grab, but where's the follow-up? The beat is good from Skewed, stabilizes thing for the moment. Oh, that was way too close for comfort again, Matt. But they do get the point touch. Viper had to go deep to pull that distraction and does get punished. So Team CC still have something to say in this fight, but the grab is devastating there onto the Sojourn on the high ground, and that should be the game, man. The wipe is good. Billy Dang on the Doomfist maybe can get some kind of a cheeky touch off, but I mean, he's 1v5 here, and it's just not meant to be. T1 way too close for comfort at many moments through this series, but they do get the job done on New Junk City, showing off this new map rework and looking fantastic as well. Great to see Viper into the lineup.
Yeah, it was a really competitive series between these two teams. I definitely think it caught us, I know, maybe a little bit off guard with how down to the wire it went, but for me, the difference was Proud there towards the end, right?
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about Pineapple needing to find some of these openers here on the Sojourn. It's such a huge game changer, right? When you can get some of those early first picks on that hero, and it felt like time and time again, you weren't getting that from Team CC. You weren't really finding these big plays with the overclock or anything along those lines, and even just regular railgun shots. Proud end up turning some of these fights. So a real difference maker there for T1.
I also want to give a lot of respect to Skewed. A couple times in that map, chooses with sound barrier to let the team wipe rather than try for the risky turnaround into a grab. And that proves to be the more intelligent decision, right? He ends up securing his team a better ultimate advantage. Sometimes 2 or 3 fights down the line, it's not obvious, but it's one of those subtle differences that an elite tier main support can make to the team, really controlling the tempo of the match and creating those unlosable situations down the stretch.
Yeah, and I mean, for T1, right, I think this is a little bit of I think it's actually a good series for them. It's a little bit of a wake-up call, right? Yeah. Of like, hey, like we're here at another international, like, you know, the Chinese region is obviously here to play and compete. We know what EMEA can do. Like, we need to step our game up. Like, just kind of playing this way against a team like a Twisted Minds or a GK, it might not be enough to get the job done.
I think it's too soon to tell, honestly. Like, is this Team CC really showing up in this tournament?
Yeah,
because
maybe.
The eye test for me is like, hey, I don't think T1 actually are really slacking in this series. I saw great plays out of Team CC. I thought they looked pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Dang looked awesome throughout the entire series. I mean, if you had a scenario where, let's say, like Proud, you know, plays a little bit worse maybe, and Pineapple steps up, I mean, you might be looking at a different result here, right? Because
totally agree.
It was that close, I think, between these two teams where, yeah, maybe it is a little bit of, like, maybe Team CC is a little bit better than what we thought. You take a look at here, some of the stats still. Billy Dang putting up a great performance there for Team CC. On the other side of things, Proud, obviously, playing very strong there.
Honestly, I think this map, the May, looked great on the first point where there's just so many opportunities to get those big walls. But from there on out, it was much more hit or miss. You know, you were relying on him hitting big icicles, getting clean connections. But Viper, not an easy matchup to play Genji in, for what it's worth, right? Zarya can cut you to pieces so easily. But the T1 and as an entirety, they really capitalized on that Genji, and they took their chances to get very aggressive. And to hear a little bit more from our winners in T1, we've got Danny with the players down on the stage.
Thank you so much, Jake. What's up, everybody? I'm here joined by Proud from T1 for a quick post-match interview. Proud, I mean, I feel like that was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. How do you feel? Did you feel like this was going to be an easy win coming into the match, or did you feel like it was going to be a hard win for T1? 자, 일단 오늘 경기 제가 봤을 때는 굉장히 아슬아슬하게 승리를 하신 것 같은데, 프라우드 선수 보시기에 어떻게 경기 초반에 아니면 이제 경기를 들어오기 전에는 좀 쉽게 이길 거라고 생각을 하셨는지, 아니면 원래 이렇게 좀 어렵게 이길 거라고 생각을 하셨나요?
원래는 좀 그래도 쉬운 편으로 이길 줄 알았는데 CC도 준비를 잘해온 것도 있었고 저희도 실수도 좀 있었어가지고 이렇게 비등비등하게 해서 이긴 것 같아요.
Yeah. Going in, I do have to be honest. I feel like it was going to be an easy win, but I feel like Team CC was very well prepared. And also, I have to say that we made a lot of mistakes in the game, and that's why it sort of like was a harder win for us T1 to get the win today against Team CC. All right, I feel like there's another reason why it was such a hard win because I heard from your team that Proud, you forgot your mouse today. I forgot. I heard that. And then your team, your GM, and your team managers had to run to the hotel and get the mouse. Did you actually get the mouse, or did you have to play with a different mouse? 자, 제가 들었을 때는 오늘 또 경기가 어려웠던 게 제가 들어보니까 오늘 마우스를 또 프라우드 선수가 안 가지고 오셨다고 해가지고 그 마우스를 어떻게 가지고 오게 되셨나요? 아니면은 못 받으셨나요?
일단 처음에 마우스가 없어가지고 손을 가져오긴 했는데 결국엔 손을 좀 못 풀긴 했는데 그래도 없었으면 멘탈 나갈 뻔했는데 있어가지고 다행히 그래도 잡고 했다.
I did barely manage to get it thanks to our team managers. But yeah, like during our warm-ups, I didn't have a mouse, so I was a bit worried. But then in game, I still had the mouse. So I know if I didn't have it, I think I would have been very mentally boomed. Proud, please from now on keep track of your mouse. 마우스 항상 꼭 가지고 다니시길 바라면서 I'm gonna end the interview here for now. Thank you so much and good luck moving forward. Back to you guys.